Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in to an underdog draft that we're going to do this evening. I'm happy to have you all here. Going to go ahead and do a quick one. This is the puppy on Underdog. If you've never been a part of an underdog draft, it is a best ball league. Basically, you're just picking players, putting them in the right spots. It's only $5 to join. It's a best ball league, like I said before. It's going to be a ton of fun. We're going to go through one tonight, and I can't wait to get started. Draft starts in about 37 seconds or so. So excited to get one of these under the belt for the IDP Army. So if you have any questions, go ahead and throw them into the chat. I'll be trying to answer as many as I can, but all this is a best ball draft. We're going to do a quick underdog draft. This is just me by myself at Ombre Vendor. Follow me on Twitter. I will appreciate that. If you have any questions on there, if you have any questions about my picks, I'm going to try to explain them the best I can. But you never know how these drafts are going to go. So we're going to kind of see how it goes. So the draft's about to start right now. So let's see how it goes. For you all listening on the podcast, I'm going to try to be as very open about the picks as possible. I'm not going to go through every one because that will get a little annoying if I'm just naming off everyone. But if there is a surprise, I will let you know of that when it happens. First pick was obviously Jonathan Taylor. Not really any surprise there. Maybe I'll just go through the first two rounds. There's 30 seconds per pick, so this should go pretty quickly. But if not, we're going to kind of fill some time. So second position goes to Cooper Kupp. Third goes to Justin Jefferson. It's kind of making a lot of sense so far. Wide receiver is kind of the way to go, which is why I am going to go with Christian McCaffrey. Went number 4, by the way. I am going to go Jamar Chase. I haven't gotten him in many leagues that I've been trying to get him in, so that's kind of exciting. There's a lot of different ways to go here. Some people say Austin Eckler. Some people say Najee Harris. I understand that, but we're going to go with Jamar Chase. I like what the Bengals are about to prove this year. Jamar Chase was an absolute stud last season, so I'm excited to have him on my team. Okay, first surprise really is at 1-6 goes Mark Andrews, the tight end. There's only a couple tight ends this year, so it is kind of interesting to see a tight end go this early in the draft, but at the same time, it kind of makes sense. Stephon Diggs goes after that. Okay. Like I said, wide receivers kind of, I think, going to go a little bit heavier, especially in best ball leagues this year. Kind of surprised to see Stephon Diggs go before Devonte Adams, CeeDee Lamb, Deebo Samuel. I mean, I guess Tyreek Hill, maybe not. You got to expect that Josh Allen's offense is going to be very dynamic this year, so I'm guessing that's what somebody in that position would be banking on. But at the same time, you just never know how people are going to draft in these. And that one is my first real surprise. Mark Andrews going at 1-6 is pretty surprising, but if you think about it, Travis Kelce's been going at 1-6 many a year, and that never really shocked anyone. So I guess Mark Andrews is just going to fall into that role, and that's how we're going to do this. So Travis Kelce goes 111, Najee Harris 112. 112 in a draft gets you Najee Harris. Kind of insane to think about, to be honest. But I'm probably going to go back-to-back wide receiver just because that makes the most sense for me personally. And I think in these kind of drafts, I think the strategy that you want to go with in these kind of drafts is wide receiver heavy at the beginning, running back maybe later, just because you have no control over the roster. You can't make trades, can't pick up players. So when you're picking up a running back, there's a bigger opportunity for them to get injured, whereas opposed to wide receivers don't really get injured as much. So it's usually the strategy that they like to employ in this. Just kind of catch you up. First of the second round was CeeDee Lamb, then Joe Mixon, Dalvin Cook, Deebo Samuel, DeAndre Swift. Kind of none of these really surprising me that much. I'm still looking at wide receivers. Probably going to go Tyreek Hill unless somebody does something crazy and take him. Mike Evans goes 2-6. I got one more pick until it's me. Hopefully they don't take Tyreek Hill. Probably going to go – they're going to go wide receiver, I would have bet here. He went Mark Andrews in the first round. So we'll have to see what they do. If you're new to Underdog, if you've never played before, any state that is able to play any kind of like DraftKings, any kind of skill-based gambling games, you can play Underdog in. So by all means, please do that. He went AJ Brown. I don't hate that. Eagles are looking pretty good this year. Don't tell Josh that, but so I don't hate that for him. We're going to go Tyreek Hill. I know a lot of people are making fun of Tua and how Tua's arm looks down in Miami, but I think he's still Tyreek Hill. And until he proves otherwise, he is a talent that is above anyone else. And I don't care if you're going to give him to me in the 20th pick in a draft, I'm going to take him at that spot. So what I was saying before, though, if you've never played Underdog, any state where you can play a skill-based gambling game, you can play. If you put in the code IDP Army, you can get up to $100 doubled, matched upon deposit, which we would all appreciate. And it also give you a little bit more money to start out. These drafts are really fun to do. It's a good way to get to see how other players are playing the game. It's exciting to see exactly, it's good to get ready for the season playing these kind of games. They kind of get you a little bit ready. So 21st was Aaron Jones, 22nd, Nick Chubb. Not really surprising. We're going to go on a little bit of a running back run here. Leonard Fournette goes 23. We're about to close out the second round with Alvin Kamara because we're on a running back run right now. I still think at this point you could probably get that kind of talent later for running back. I'm probably going to go tight end next just to kind of shore up that position. I don't think that I need to pick a running back just yet. Saquon Barkley goes first pick of the third round. Now, see, if you're playing a league that's a redraft league, a lot of these kind of picks make sense. But in a best ball league, you're kind of hamstringing yourself with these early picks. Mike Williams goes 26 overall. That above T. Higgins, Michael Pittman Jr., Jalen Waddle. I am utterly shocked by that. T. Higgins and Keenan Allen go 27, 28 respectively. I am going to snag my boy Kyle Pitts. I think he is the most talented player on that team right now. I know that they just got Drake London, but he is not as good as Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is my pick at number 29. I think this is just the way to go, to be honest with you. I think this is a smart way of doing things. Devonte Williams goes after that. Josh Allen goes number 31, first quarterback off the board. Number 32 is Michael Pittman Jr. Kind of the trend seeing in these kind of drafts right now is running backs going in these mid rounds, like second, late second, early third. Kind of makes a lot of sense if you are into those kind of picks. But honestly, for me personally, wide receiver is the way to go. I was never one of those people that believed in the zero RB strat. I always thought those people were, playing really risky fantasy football. But in my opinion, it's low risk, high reward by picking the wide receivers first. So we're going to employ that strategy for this puppy, and we'll see how it ends up going by the end of this. So Jalen Waddle went 34, 35, Pat Mahomes, 36, DJ Moore, 37, Ezekiel Elliott. Again, no real surprises yet. I mean, the real surprises came in the first round, in my opinion. But right now, these kind of are just the people that are going around this round. I would say something that, if you're playing in one of these, you should take into account is wide receivers are going to be very necessary later on in the season. You're going to end up getting a lot of points from them because you do get a flex spot. So if you think about it, the more wide receivers you have, the better you have. Running backs, again, don't think they're necessarily needed. But we're going to take our first one here on this next pick just to kind of get that position shored up. So the people that are available right now, Cam Akers, who Jordan thinks could be an RB1. I personally don't. Breece Hall, Travis Etienne, David Montgomery, J.K. Dobbins, Josh Jacobs. Those are all pretty good options at this point. I think we're going to go Travis Etienne. I kind of like what the reports I'm hearing out of Jacksonville camp right now about him getting some receiving action. He's completely healthy. I think that's the route to go. So we're going to take Travis Etienne here. I think those receiving yards are going to be very major this year. Going to be a lot of fun to see him, maybe in a less restrictive offense. We'll see. I know that a lot of people are scared of Doug Peterson and how he treats running backs, but I'm not scared. Him and Trevor Lawrence played at Clemson together. They have already that built-in good connection. I think this year he's only going to thrive in that offense, and I'm pretty happy for him. We're going to try to go Josh Jacobs with this next pick if nobody takes him before. So after Etienne went McLaurin, Cam Akers, way too high, by the way. 410, nope. 46, nope. Allen Robinson, Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin, an absolute steal at 49, in my opinion. Allen Robinson being pretty heavily undervalued right now. I think, and I don't know if this is a hot take or not. If it is a hot take, I guess I'm stepping on that one. But I think Allen Robinson might be better than Odell Beckham Jr. at this stage in their careers. I think Allen Robinson got a bad rep being in Chicago. I think he was done playing in Chicago. I don't think he's done being a good fantasy football player. So to see that is kind of like, well, we'll see what ends up happening there. So George Kittle goes after Chris Godwin at 50. 51 was Justin Herbert. Some good quarterbacks are going. I still think we can snag one on the turnaround. Still looking at Josh Jacobs here. Lamar Jackson goes after that. A lot of people are thinking running or quarterback right now, apparently. But we're going to go to the running back, Josh Jacobs. So the reason I'm taking Josh Jacobs here at 53, he had his fifth-year option decline. And while a lot of people are like, well, Billy, that means he's not going to be signed back to the Raiders, right? Like, it's probably not going to happen. Nope. That means they're going to run his ass into the ground this season because they do not care what happens to his body after this season. It's just the cold, hard facts of football right there. They clearly don't care about what happens to him upon, after the season, or they would have picked up that fifth-year option. So if they're smart, they're just going to run him into the ground. Kenyon Drake's not really a threat there. There's not really any other running back on that roster that I see as a threat. I see them being able to stretch the field more since they have Devonte Adams there with Derek Carr. And if you're looking for touchdown upside, Josh Jacobs is your guy. He's going way too late to be at 53. He could easily be in the top 10 running backs by the end of the season. That's not even that. There's no doubt in my mind. He's going to have a lot more opportunity. So after that goes Rashad Bateman. People who listen to the podcast may know how I feel about Rashad Bateman. We'll see. After that, David Montgomery at 55. 56 goes Juju Smith-Schuster. 57 is DK Metcalf. There's a lot of uncertainty with the Seattle quarterback situation right now. A lot of people are like, Drew Lock, he sucks. Geno Smith, he sucks. It's probably going to be Baker Mayfield. Be very ready for that. I know that we're getting into June now and we're, need to start getting this stuff figured out. But until I see it fully happen, I think that Baker Mayfield's going to go to Seattle by the end of the season. And I think that's actually an upgrade for DK Metcalf because I think Pete Carroll might let him sling the ball a little bit more. But we'll see. After that goes Darnell Mooney for the Chicago Bears. I think that's a good spot for him at 58. 59, J.K. Dobbins. I know I kind of said on a podcast that J.K. Dobbins is going to get a lot, out-target Rashad Bateman. I did not mean it like that. I meant that he's going to get more touches than Rashad Bateman in an offense that is rushes and catches. So that's what I meant by him being a better option in that offense than Rashad Bateman, because it's going to be Mark Andrews is probably going to get the most touches. And after that, we're probably looking at J.K. Dobbins. And then we're looking at maybe not J.K. Dobbins, maybe just running back room. But J.K. Dobbins will be heavily involved. After that, Breece Hall goes to the number 60. That's probably about right. Brandon Cooks, 61. I like that as well. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Thanks, Henry. That is exactly what I should do. I will show the draft board. Well, let me pick first probably, and then I'll show the draft board. Yeah. So Brandon Cooks, Michael Thomas, very interested to see what happens with Michael Thomas this year. I'm not 100% positive that he's even going to play. Ooh, shoot. Let me pass that. Bear with me for the technical difficulties with this, by the way, because I have not run one of these on a stream before. Kyler Murray goes 64, Jalen Hurts 65. Jalen Hurts really undervalued at quarterback still. I don't understand it. He has more quarterback one finishes than a lot of the quarterbacks ahead of him this past season, and I don't see him with A.J. Brown all of a sudden not being that at that spot. So Elijah Mitchell goes after that. Let's see what the quarterbacks are looking like right now. Got Joe Burrow, Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Dak Prescott. Trey Lance, Matt Stafford. I still think we can wait on that. So let's go dip back into the wide receiver pool. I think we're going to go a little Devonte Smith action right here. So I think when A.J. Brown got traded to the Eagles, a lot of people just immediately thought that's exactly who was going to be the first option there for the Eagles. I don't think that's necessarily true. It could be a little bit more 50-50, maybe even 60-40 Devonte Smith's way. I think Jalen Hurts is a little bit more comfortable with him. And so I just think that. So 69 went Drake London, nice. Antonio Gibson went 70, Adam Thielen 71. About to reach into the 7th round. Yeah, I would say these are about right. So best available wide receiver right now is Treylon Burks, which I find very interesting. I'd be interested to see if somebody takes DeAndre Hopkins very high because I think he might not be super useful to start out the season. Sky Moore being this high on the ADP is the Patrick Mahomes effect at his finest right there. We might go back to running back, actually, after I just made a big long spiel about running backs not mattering. But the value right here is better. A.J. Dillon was a smart pick for 74. But any of these guys right here, Kenneth Walker, smart. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, could be sneaky. He didn't suddenly become a bad running back. Miles Sanders, hopefully going to get used more in that offense. I feel like they finally started to figure out how to use the running back at the end of the year. Treylon Burks goes 75. I got one more pick. I'm probably going to go Kenneth Walker, to be honest with you. Sky Moore goes 76. See, Sky Moore, I'm just not sure. I think people are thinking he's going to be Tyreek Hill, and I think that might not be exactly the truth. So I went Kenneth Walker there. Let's see if we can go find a T real quick. Of course, I clicked out of it. That makes sense. I'm not very good at this, apparently. Yeah, there we go. 10 picks away. All right. Go draft. My bad. Still trying to figure this out. My bad, everybody who's watching right now. So while we're doing this, let's just show the draft board. All right. So my picks are in the middle here. Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, Kyle Pitts, Travis Etienne, Josh Jacobs, Devonte Smith, and Kenneth Walker are the picks so far. I think it's just the smartest thing for me to do. I'd go wide receiver heavy at the beginning. I think Jamar Chase and Tyreek Hill are perfect for what I'm looking to do. Hopkins usually goes in the 7th. Yeah. Thank you, Henry. I apologize for how old man this looks. Learning how to do this on the fly. So I appreciate the help. Yes, active is exactly where I should be clicking, or should have been clicking that whole time. But that's what we're looking at now. Thinking wide receiver is probably my best route to go. I know I've picked 3 running backs, but I still think there's a ton of value on the board at this late. So for catch people up that are listening on the podcast, 84 was Dak Prescott, Joe Burrow was 85, 86 Hunter Renfrow, and 87 was Alan Lazard. Alan Lazard could be a sneaky pick this year, because I don't think it's immediately going to be Christian Watson's season for the Green Bay Packers. So having Alan Lazard be one of your best options on your team could easily end up working out. I'm probably looking at Christian Kirk right here, to be honest with you. It's just because they paid him $84 million, and I don't think they can afford for him not to play very well. I understand that they were setting a market and they were kind of screwing everybody else over on the process, but I am going to trust my process and put Christian Kirk here at 92 just to see who else is available. Christian Kirk, Russell Gage, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson. So we're to that kind of second batch of rookies that I still think I need to see more from. Christian Kirk goes the pick before me. So there we go. We'll go ahead and figure out something else here on the fly. Maybe we'll go quarterback. We'll pick Mr. Matt Stafford. Sean McVay loves the guy. He was very good in last season. So we're going to go Matt Stafford at 92, shore up the quarterback position. I am not nervous at all for that because I think Matt Stafford is probably a top 5 option this year, maybe top 6 if you really want to get somebody else involved there. 93 goes Russell Gage. Kind of a mystery, to be honest with you. I don't know how that offense is going to play out. And I don't know if Chris Godwin's going to be 100% healthy come the start of the season. 94 was Kareem Hunt. A lot of rumors about Kareem Hunt might being done in Cleveland. We shall see. I don't know. This is going to get really interesting here in the next, probably month about players like Kareem Hunt, Baker Mayfield, maybe getting cut, maybe not. We'll see. Deshaun Watson investigation. There's a whole lot going on right now. We'll see what happens. Tom Brady goes 95. That's pretty smart at this point. MVS goes 96. I think that's probably your sneaky pick in Kansas City, actually. Robert Woods being a very good option at 97 for Tennessee. Still kind of curious what Ryan Tannehill is going to throw. Maybe if you don't believe in Treylon Burks, Robert Woods would be the way to go, or the reason to not believe in Treylon Burks completely. Tony Pollard goes 98, and Dawson Knox goes 99. I don't hate that for a tight end option. I'm about to pick here in a second, so we will bring back up running back and wide receiver. I think we're going to go Garrett Wilson. We'll see what this guy in front of me does exactly. He's got 5 wide receivers, so I doubt he goes wide receiver again. But yeah, he does. He goes Chris Olave. So we're going to go Garrett Wilson. I think the Jets are going to be a lot better than a lot of people think this year. A lot of people don't want to believe in the Jets because they are the Jets, and I get that. But I think you can still understand that they're going to take a step forward at least. There's not an option where that doesn't happen for them. I don't think. Zach Wilson showed some flashes last season. He wasn't that bad. A lot of people, I feel like, were hating on him a little bit more than they probably should have. Let's see. I wish I could just pull this up more. But here's been my draft so far. If you can look in the lower right, Matt Stafford, Travis Etienne, Josh Jacobs, Kenneth Walker, running backs. Don't hate any of those. I think all 3 of those are pretty good. Travis Etienne, good receiving work. Josh Jacobs, going to be a bell cow there. Kenneth Walker, opportunity to be a bell cow there. Wide receivers, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, Devonte Smith, and Garrett Wilson. A lot of upside here for all of these guys. I think they're all going to be used very well. And then my tight end is Kyle Pitts. I know some people that I do a podcast with hate him, and that's okay. But he will be fine in the end, in my opinion. I think we'll be good to go on that. So, last couple picks kind of catch you all up. 104 was Chase Claypool. 105, Zach Ertz. 106 was Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, a lot of mystery going into him this year. Not really sure who he's going to be throwing the ball to. He could probably make it just work with Aaron Jones and miscellaneous others, but don't know. Okay, so Jameson Williams goes 107. Don't know how healthy he is. We are not positive exactly how healthy he is. He could miss up to 6 games this season. That was kind of what they were projecting. I don't know. I don't totally believe that, but it could happen. He could come back sooner. He is a pretty darn good athlete. So after that goes Tyler Boyd. Um, I, Tyler Boyd, third option in Cincinnati. I kind of like Tyler Boyd. He's getting not as much love as you would think he would be getting, because Higgins and Jamar Chase are who they are. But I don't, you can't sleep on Tyler Boyd. He is a good wide receiver anyway. So 109 goes Christian Watson. I'm proud of him for going in the 10th round. I really thought somebody was going to reach higher than that, but they didn't. Nobody did, and I can tell we're in a pretty good group here because Christian Watson, I don't know, if you look at Aaron Rodgers' track record with him and rookie wide receivers, it's never gone well. Not saying that there eventually won't be someone that could break that curse, but I don't think it's going to be Christian Watson. I just think that he was pretty talented coming out of North Dakota State, but I don't think he was very talented coming out of North Dakota State. And his size is something to fall in love with, but we don't exactly know how he's going to go in that offense. So 110 was Mecole Hardman, a 111 Melvin Gordon, 112 Devin Singletary, 113 Derek Carr. Derek Carr, pretty darn good option this year. I know that it's not just because of Devonte. It's just he is a good athlete, and he's going to be good. Chase Edmonds goes right before me at 115. We're going to do something a little interesting here, I think. We'll see who's available. Not that high. I think we're going to go... Yeah, we're going to go this route. We're going to go Kenny Galladay. And here's my reasoning behind that. The Giants aren't going to be as bad as they were last season. They just aren't. Somebody in that offense is going to hit. It's theoretically impossible to think that under the new regime that's coming from the Buffalo Bills that they are going to allow Daniel Jones to be that bad again. I just don't believe it. And Kenny Galladay is a fantastic wide receiver. At least he was when he was with the Lions, and we all thought he was going to be when he got to the Giants. But I think with a full year, that coaching staff will be able to get him. Sorry about that. 117 is Rob Gronkowski. He does not have a team yet, I don't think, or maybe he signed back with Tampa Bay. 118 was Rashad Penny. He's easy on that one. Hope he's not trusting him too much. 119 was Kirk Cousins. That makes sense. 120, Deshaun Watson. Kind of a, it's kind of a hope play there. You just never know what his suspension is going to look like at this point. Each day it feels like a new accuser comes out because of something. And so, I don't know. Deshaun Watson's looking more and more like he won't play this season. But we'll see. 121, Rondale Moore. 122, James Cook. 123, Pat Freiermuth. And then we're about to come back to me. And we're probably headed to running back. It's just a matter of who. So Alexander Mattinson goes before me. And now we are in... I mean, if there was a running back dead zone, it would be about right here. So Ramondre Stevenson's the best on the board. Dameon Pierce, Ronald Jones, Rashad White, Isaiah Spiller, Michael Carter, Naheem Hines. Like, these guys are all kind of sketchy, but we're going to try out a little Rojo action because I think that with Clyde Edwards-Helaire there, of course, I couldn't click him in time. Fantastic. So we end up with Ramondre Stevenson, which is good. He's good for New England. I don't mind him at all, actually. I think that he will get at least half of the work there, and I think that will be someone that they can get involved very a lot. They can get him involved a lot in that passing and running attack for Ramondre Stevenson. So 126 is Dameon Pierce, 127 Jamison Crowder. Pretty good spot for him to go. 128 Jarvis Landry, 129 Tim Patrick, 130 Tua Tagovailoa, I think is how you say his name. I don't know. I'll never learn how to say his name, I don't think. It's just gonna be one of those names. We might go Rojo on the next if nobody picks him, but somebody might. So here are the best players available overall. Rojo's the number one player. Mike Gesicki, Rashad White, Devontae Parker, Justin Fields, Jacoby Myers, Robert Tonyan, Van Jefferson, Michael Carter, Irv Smith, Albert O. Do not take Albert O. I understand why people are thinking about Albert O as a potential breakout because he has no competition there. Russell Wilson is not exactly a tight end connoisseur, so I would not be believing in him super heavily. Devonte Parker goes number 132 overall. Let's bring up the draft board again real quick. Let's see where we're at. On load. All right. So I went Jamar Chase 1, Tyreek Hill 2. Number 3 was Kyle Pitts. 4, Travis Etienne. 5, Josh Jacobs. 6, Devonte Smith. 7, Kenneth Walker. 8, Matt Stafford. 9, Garrett Wilson. 10, Kenny Galladay. And 11 with the accidental auto draft of Ramondre Stevenson. But I don't mind it. He's a good running back. He will be able to get some points in that New England running attack, which was very good last year. I think they're going to be a little bit worse this year, but not too bad. Okay, so we're not going to go quarterback yet, and we're not going to go tight end yet. I don't know why I just did it like that, but we're going to look in this department. Jahan Dotson goes 138. This is where this is where the rubber meets the road right here. So Jacoby Myers goes right before me. We're going to take a shot in the dark. I know a lot of people are hating on Tyler Algieri right now. I know. People are comparing him to Quadri Olison. People are comparing him to other failed running backs of the past that we really wanted to trust going into a season. I'm not about that. At pick 12, like 140 overall, it's better to at least try to not have Cordell Patterson than to just try to outthink it. I mean, I wouldn't say go really high for him, but at 140, I think that's actually a pretty good option. So I'm going to stick with old Tyler Algieri. I'm going to trust that maybe he develops in that offense and ends up being very good. So we're going to have to get our backup running back, or backup quarterback and backup tight end here. All right, we're looking at not a bye week 14, which is Robert Tonyan, but we're going to have to, or Cole Kmet. Might have to go with the extremely overpaid David Njoku here. But maybe not. We'll see. I'm not going to read off all the picks that have happened in the last – we're talking the Jalen Tolberts, Irv Smith, Trevor Lawrence tier. So I'm pretty much just going to explain my strategy from here on out rather than talk through some of the randomness. If somebody comes up weird, I will mention it. Van Jefferson going at 147. Kind of interesting. All right, we're going to go back up tight end here. David Njoku's probably the pick. Noah Fant's very interesting too, though. You know what? I'm going to pull the trigger. We're going Noah Fant. Seattle might look like the place for players going to die this season, but I think that there is an opportunity in Seattle. At least we know they will be down by a lot and needing to be catching up. So if you have a player like Noah Fant, he's going to help whoever the quarterback is, whether it is Drew Lock or Geno Smith or Baker Mayfield, whoever. If it's Baker Mayfield especially, he loves his tight ends. So that could end up being a very good piece on that. Okay. We'll do 2 more rounds, and then I'll probably just cut away and kind of close this out because we are at the random portion of the draft where we're just picking backup players at this point pretty much. Davis Price goes 155. I get it because he is in San Francisco. He was drafted there, and Kyle Shanahan loves to just screw with everyone and put somebody in there that doesn't belong. I don't know if this is the guy, though. I just don't. I think they might stick with Elijah Mitchell. Maybe they even get Trey Sermon more involved, and then maybe it's Davis Price. I think he's a good player. I don't have any real problem with him, but I just think this is one of those red herring players where it doesn't turn out exactly like people think it will, just in my thought process. Let's see. I have, 3 picks left? Yeah, 3 picks left. All right, Jameis Winston goes 158. David Bell, very smart pick at 157. I don't think Cleveland's done adding at wide receiver. Had some, I don't know, kind of interesting interaction with a popular personality on Twitter about Cleveland and their wide receiver options. I still think they're going to get Will Fuller. I know that Mary Kay Cabot came out and said that the Browns are not interested in adding Will Fuller, and they're not going to be interested in adding him. I'm going to go ahead and say we'll see. I think if Deshaun Watson gets in there in the month, and if he only gets suspended like 2 games, for example, I think he's going to walk in there and ask for whoever he wants to come in there. And I don't think they're really going to have an option to say no. I just don't. All right, so we're going to go backup quarterback here. Matt Ryan's a pretty good option. Daniel Jones, Davis Mills is available. I think we're going to go Daniel Jones. I know what everybody's thinking. Daniel Jones stinks. But I believe in the coaching staff, and that is what I really think that this is all coming down to, in my opinion. The coaching staff is not going to have the Giants looking as bad as they were last year on offense. That was an absolutely putrid system. It was Jason Garrett and then everybody's favorite menu play drawing coach, Freddie Kitchens, who came in there and just made it look even more abominable than it already was. Healthy Daniel Jones, healthy players on offense, including Saquon Barkley. Daniel Jones is not exactly the worst option. I do think this will be his last year for the Giants, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as it was last year. Probably like a little Mitch Trubisky-ish, I guess. Not amazing, but not bad either when he was with the Bears. Alec Pierce, I like that going at 165. James Robinson, absolute steal this late in the draft. I mean, he's going to be out for a little bit this season, but it's not over for him. It definitely isn't over for him. We got 2 picks left in the draft overall. I think we're going to have to, I don't know. I don't really want to go back to the quarterback pool or tight end pool, but maybe we'll just bring it up just in case, kind of see what we got. So Khalil Herbert, Gus Edwards are the top 2 players available right now. But there's plenty of options we could go here. Donovan Peoples-Jones, Hayden Hurst, Wan'Dale Robinson, who suspiciously hasn't signed his rookie contract yet. Don't really know what to make of that. We got Odell Beckham, who could be a potential big player. Actually, that's what we're going to do this late in the draft. We're going to take Odell Beckham because you know what? He could end up on the Packers. He could end up on a team where he ends up making a big difference for them. And at this point in the draft, you're just going for high upside, and that is pretty high upside. This will be our next pick if he doesn't get picked. This will be Dante Foreman, who we all saw played in Tennessee last year, was great for Tennessee last year, is now backing up Christian McCaffrey. Guess what, Christian McCaffrey likes to do? Well, he doesn't like to do it, but it just happens to him. He gets hurt. So I think the smart thing for them to do would be to let Dante Foreman be more involved. We're going to go ahead and take him if he ends up lasting this long. That will be my last pick, I believe. Nope, got 2 more picks. So it'll be one of my last 2 picks for sure. Wow, I got 3. Oh, okay. Well, we can make this work. All right, we'll just finish out this draft. Why not? Made it this far already. I know, couple people are watching. I'll take that. Sorry for the technical difficulties with this one. I'm going to have to get better at it. I definitely will. I appreciate you all staying by this. I will bring up the overall draft after this so we can kind of talk through it a little bit. We are pick 180 was Hayden Hurst for Cincinnati. I don't hate that. I think Cincinnati's tight end role is pretty cool. Pretty good spot. Wan'Dale Robinson goes 181. Justin Ross went 179 KC. That guy's neck scares me, man. I don't think I will be able to I won't be the one trusting him this season. Somebody will. Somebody's probably picked him in your rookie draft if you're in Dynasty. It won't be me. All right. So AJ Green goes 184. This is just maybe they can win you a week kind of type area right now. John Mechie, that's a pretty smart move there. Let's go wide receiver or running back. We're going to pick Dante Foreman in 2 picks when he becomes available. So we have 2 quarterbacks, 5 running backs, 6 wide receivers, and 2 tight ends. I probably will spend my last 2 picks on wide receivers to kind of give a little bit more room. We're going Dante Foreman at 188. I like that a lot. I hope that I can get him at that spot in regular drafts because if the Christian McCaffrey owner or manager doesn't already know that he is, going to be wanting to pay for him, just wait until week 6 or 7 when, the hamstring goblin comes and takes him out. Takes Christian McCaffrey out, you're going to be wanting Dante Foreman on your team. So better to get ahead of that one. That's a pretty valuable handcuff, not going to lie, at this stage in the proceedings. So the wide receivers available right now are sketchy territory. We're talking Paris Campbell, Devin Duvernay, James Washington, Romeo Dubs, Brian Edwards, Byron Pringle, Zay Jones, Sterling Shepard. I mean, it's a who's who of guys that could win you a week if everything went completely right. And that, should probably scare people, but we're going deep. See if there's somebody in here that we can take. I think we're going to go this route. I know this is a total June move right here, but we're going to go with Calvin Austin from Pittsburgh. There is a chance that he is the slot receiver for them. He is really short, but really fast as well. And I think that is probably the route I'm going to go. That's my second to last pick. A lot of people are probably going to view that and be like, what the hell are you doing? I think by the time we get to draft time in August, when you're doing your redrafts, I think Calvin Austin's stock will be pretty darn high going into that. So we're probably going to go running back with our last pick. Logan Thomas is available, Marlon Mack, Sony Michel, Hassan Haskins, which is interesting. I don't know. Oh, there we go. Let's go Brevin Jordan. Tied in for Houston. Probably be our last pick. We'll see how the rest of this shakes out. Let's see, will this be a good time? 11 picks away. Yeah, we can bring up the draft board real quick. So the draft board's pretty filled out at this point. I went Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, Kyle Pitts, Travis Etienne, Josh Jacobs, Devonte Smith, Kenneth Walker, Matt Stafford, Garrett Wilson, Kenny Galladay, Ramondre Stevenson, Tyler Algieri, Noah Fant, Daniel Jones, Odell, Dante Foreman, Calvin Austin, and we're probably going to end up with Brevin Jordan as our last pick. Those are my picks. I will explain more once we get to the end of this draft real quick, and then we will sign off from there, and I'll get you all out of here after that. Hopefully this hasn't been too long. I know it's been 43 minutes of just a pure puppy draft on Underdog. Again, thank you so much for watching the rest of this whole thing. If you haven't, I understand that too. But if you want to play Underdog, go download the app. It's available wherever you can get your apps, whatever store, Google Play, whatever store, iTunes, all that stuff. If you live in a state where you can play DraftKings, we're not talking about like the actual gambling. We're talking the quote unquote skill-based games. You can play Underdog, and you should play Underdog. It's a lot of fun. It's a really good opportunity to get to see exactly what and who you want to draft. It's fun to just watch and see how other people are drafting. It will definitely help you be good in the end. Somebody took Brevin Jordan. Isn't that fantastic? So we're gonna have to go a little bit of a audible right here. Let's just do it. Let's just take Sony Michel and get a piece of that Miami offense that might be good. I don't think he's going to end up being very good there, but at the same time, injuries happen. Lots of things can happen. I like the Miami offense as a whole better than not having any piece of that offense. So that's a good spot to have for me personally. All right, so Devin Duvernay, Velus Jones, Cameron Brate, and then we're down to our last pick in the draft. Goes to this guy's probably going to make us wait out this entire thing just to make a random pick of a player. But we will pull up the draft board here in 20 seconds, and we will go through the rest of this. This guy really is going to wait the whole time out. Fantastic. Thanks, guy. Hey, that's his money right there, not anybody else's. Okay, let's view this full draft real quick. Pull this up. Pull it up. Okay, let's make sure we can see that. All right, here's the complete draft board. Go through this real quick. All right, for my picks, I went Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, Kyle Pitts, Travis Etienne, Josh Jacobs, Devonte Smith, Kenneth Walker, Matt Stafford, Garrett Wilson, Kenny Galladay, Ramondre Stevenson, Tyler Algieri, Noah Fant, Daniel Jones, Odell Beckham, Dante Foreman, Calvin Austin, and Sony Michel. So just to kind of explain a little bit, I went wide receiver heavy first two picks, Jamar Chase and Tyreek Hill. I think they both have the opportunity to finish inside the top 10 of wide receivers this year. Want that on my team. Kyle Pitts, I think you could easily argue he is going to be a top 2 to 3 tight end this year. Some things are going to have to break his way, I feel, but I don't think he's going to be fighting Mark Andrews, but he will still be good. Past that, we got Travis Etienne, Josh Jacobs. I went 2 running backs back to back. Josh Jacobs is going to be the bell cow for the Raiders, and Travis Etienne is going to be – he's getting a lot of receiving work in Jacksonville right now, and his connection with Trevor Lawrence makes me excited for him. Devonte Smith and Kenneth Walker are after that. Kenneth Walker could easily be the bell cow for Seattle, heavy running team in the past, plus bad quarterback, even if it is Baker Mayfield. Not exactly an amazing quarterback, still good, but not incredible. Devonte Smith, I think, could be the wide receiver 1 for Philly. We'll see. Matt Stafford, I think, is inarguably a top 6 quarterback in fantasy this year, and I don't really see how Sean McVay quarterback goes any lower than that. Garrett Wilson, Kenny Galladay, these are kind of my dart throw plays. I don't think these teams are going to be horrible this year. Garrett Wilson and Kenny Galladay, I think, both have the chance to really shine in their respective offenses in New York this year, so I can't wait to see what they can do. Ramondre Stevenson was an accident. Did not mean to pick him. That's fine. New England's going to have a solid running attack, and anytime that there's an injury there, he could possibly be a full running back at any point in time. Tyler Algieri is kind of a dart throw a little bit, just because that I want a piece of whatever is going to be that Atlanta running back hierarchy, and he could easily be that. Noah Fant is my second tight end. I think he has a really good opportunity, especially if it ends up being Baker Mayfield, so I like that a lot. Daniel Jones and Odell, these are kind of two. I like the Giants situation now a little bit better than I did last year. Jason Garrett no longer there. Freddie Kitchens no longer calling the plays. I think Daniel Jones could have a bounce back potentially. Odell Beckham could end up on any team and be very useful immediately. He did tear his ACL in the Super Bowl. We all watched that. It's horrible to watch live. And he was playing like an MVP in that game before he got hurt. So I can't wait to see exactly where he ends up and how he's used. Dante Foreman after that. Believe me, you're going to want this in redraft this year. He is going to be the backup for CMC, and that is exactly what you want to see on your team. Calvin Austin for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think there's a chance that he's a slot receiver this year. I think Mitch is going to find him very useful in that offense. Can't wait to see how he's used. And then Sony Michel, because I like the Miami offense and I would like to see how he's used this year. It's very exciting. So that is our draft. Thank you so much for tuning in for this entire draft. It was very exciting to do this entire thing. It was a little bit of a shaky experience if you were here from the beginning. Had a little bit of an old man moment when I couldn't figure out how to get back into the draft, but I don't usually do these on the computer. I usually do them on my phone. So I, appreciate anybody who bared with me through this entire thing. Go follow @offensive points on Twitter. Follow at Ombre Vendor on Twitter. Follow at Semi-Pro Fantasy on Twitter. Please like and subscribe to this channel. Just like this video. I know it was a rough one. I get it. I'm not silly. I know how this went. But at least I'm human. At least I can admit it. So that is all I've got for you all tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Go play Underdog. Use the code IDP Army to get your deposit matched. And go hop in some drafts. Thank you so much.